This off-season was supposed to be quiet. This off-season was supposed to be patient. And now the Chargers are staring at decisions that could flip their entire future upside down. If you ride with the Bolts, do me a quick favor right now, tap like, share this with another Chargers fan, and subscribe so you don't miss anything that's about to explode this off-season. Because think about this for a second, when you have a franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert, how long do you really get to waste before the window starts closing? The first wave of breaking news has Chargers fans buzzing for all the right reasons and all the wrong ones at the same time. Pro Football Focus dropped their off-season blueprints for every team, and the message for the Chargers was loud and clear. Fix the interior offensive line. Not later. Not eventually. Now. And they didn't just say, address it, they named names. One of the most intriguing fits they pointed to was Kevin Zeitler, the veteran guard currently with the Tennessee Titans. Chargers fans might not realize how steady this guy has been, but anyone who watched him closely over the last few years knows this is one of those linemen who just refuses to fall off. He's 36 years old, and somehow the wear and tear hasn't slowed him down. Season after season, he's still grading out as one of the more reliable guards in football. We're talking about a former first-round pick out of Wisconsin who, over the last 5 seasons, has consistently ranked among the top guards in the league by PFF grading. Age hasn't robbed him of his technique, his strength, or his awareness. He's still winning reps against younger, fresher defenders. For a Chargers team desperate for stability in the trenches, that kind of plug-and-play reliability is gold. And Zeitler wasn't the only name floating around. Another PFF fit that made Chargers fans' eyes light up was Tyler Linderbaum, the Baltimore Ravens standout center. This is the type of player you build an offensive line identity around. Linderbaum has posted a PFF grade of 75 or higher in every single one of his 4 NFL seasons. That's not just good, that's consistently high-level play at one of the most mentally demanding positions in football. When you imagine Rashawn Slater healthy on one side, Joe Alt locking down the other, and then you drop a player like Linderbaum into the middle, suddenly the entire personality of your offense changes. Now here's the part people forget. Free agency isn't just about what teams want. It's also about what players want. If you're a high-level offensive lineman, and you're looking around the league, what situation looks more appealing than blocking for one of the most gifted quarterbacks in football, in Justin Herbert, in a system that actually wants to run the ball and protect its passer? You're not choosing between mediocrity and chaos. You're choosing a chance to win, a chance to be part of something real, and a chance to play in an offense that could actually make you look even better. Now let's be real. Chargers fans know free agency is never perfect. Last year proved that painfully. On one hand, the signing of Dante Jackson turned out to be one of the better value moves the team made. Quality cornerbacks don't just grow on trees, and finding one in free agency who can actually hold his own is rare. On the other hand, the Mekhi Becton experiment turned into a nightmare. All season long it felt like it was the same story on repeat. Either he was hurt, or he was on the field struggling. There was never a stretch where you felt comfortable with him in the lineup. And that's what made it so shocking. This is a player who was part of a Super Bowl-winning roster with the Philadelphia Eagles. He found new life at guard after entering the league as a tackle. In 2023, he started 15 games, posted a respectable 70.8 PFF grade, and looked like he had finally turned the corner in his career. The Chargers believed in that version of him. They committed 2 years and $20 million to bring him in, thinking they had solved one of their biggest weaknesses. What they got instead was one of the worst-graded guards in football. His overall PFF grade cratered to 36.6, and in the run game, where Jim Harbaugh's philosophy demands physical dominance, Becton graded out at the very bottom of the league. That's not just underperforming. That's being completely incompatible with what your head coach wants to build. So now the whispers are getting louder. The Chargers might have to admit they missed on this one. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox didn't dance around it. The suggestion is that the team should cut its losses and move on. And honestly, when you look at how bad the offensive line was last season, it's hard to argue. The Chargers ranked dead last in the NFL in offensive line performance. Dead last. With a quarterback as talented as Justin Herbert, that's almost criminal. Releasing Becton after just one season would be embarrassing, but it would also free up even more cap space. The Chargers are already projected to have over $88.5 million available. That's real money. That's the kind of flexibility that can completely reshape a roster if used correctly. And for the first time in a long time, the Chargers actually have the resources to go all in on protecting their quarterback instead of patching holes with short-term fixes. But here's where the conversation gets even more interesting. What if the solution doesn't come from free agency at all? Teams that miss the playoffs start their draft prep early, and everything coming out of draft circles points to the same glaring need. The interior offensive line has to be rebuilt. One name that keeps popping up in mock drafts and scouting reports is Oluyemi Fashanu from Penn State. As a prospect, he's been dominant. In his most recent college season, he allowed just 1 sack and 4 total pressures across 11 games. Pro Football Focus gave him an 87.3 pass protection grade, which puts him among the elite prospects at his position. Now compare that to what the Chargers got from Becton last season. 37 pressures allowed. A pass blocking grade of 43.8. That contrast alone explains why so many analysts see Fashanu as a potential cornerstone piece for this offensive line. Multiple outlets, including CBS Sports and PFF, have mocked him to the Chargers around the 22nd overall pick. Not everyone agrees on the direction. Some believe the defense should be the priority, especially with changes looming on the coaching staff. But here's the hard truth. Reliable guards almost never hit free agency in their prime. The draft is where you actually build long-term stability up front. If the Chargers are serious about fixing their offense for more than just one season, this is the path that makes sense. And then there's the new voice in the room. Mike McDaniel is officially running the Chargers' offense, and his vision is clear. He wants balance. He wants physicality. He wants an offense that can punish defenses on the ground and then torch them through the air. But he also knows the current roster isn't built to execute that vision yet. The interior line is fragile. The depth is questionable. And behind Justin Herbert, the skill position group lacks the kind of reliable support that turns good offenses into great ones. That's why another name has started circulating in free agency discussions. Rico Dowdle from the Carolina Panthers. Dowdle is coming off a strong season, rushing for 1,076 yards on 236 carries with 6 touchdowns. He's not being brought in to replace the Chargers' primary back, Amarian Hampton. He's being looked at as a complementary piece. Someone who can keep the run game efficient when the starter needs a breather. Someone who fits an offense that wants to wear defenses down over 4 quarters. McDaniel has a track record of getting more out of running backs than people expect, especially in the passing game, even when they're not known as elite receivers. Adding depth to the backfield might not sound as flashy as signing a star lineman, but over a long season, that kind of move can be the difference between an offense stalling out and an offense staying dangerous. This is why everything happening right now feels connected. The possible release of Mekhi Becton isn't just about admitting a mistake. It's about unlocking the flexibility to finally address the Chargers' most persistent weakness. Free agency offers immediate fixes with veterans like Kevin Zeitler and Tyler Linderbaum. The draft offers long-term answers with prospects like Oluyemi Fashanu. And the new offensive system demands players who actually fit what the coaching staff wants to do. This is one of those off-seasons that defines a franchise. The Chargers have the money. They have premium draft capital. They have a quarterback who can carry a team if you just give him a fighting chance. The only thing left is whether the front office is willing to be bold enough to fix what's been broken for far too long. So here's the real question of the day, and I want you to drop your answer in the comments. If you're running this team, do you cut ties with Mekhi Becton immediately and use that money to chase proven veterans on the offensive line, or do you put your faith in the draft and try to build this thing the slow, foundational way? Because one way or another, the decisions made in the next few months are going to shape the Chargers for years. And whether this era becomes one of regret or one of redemption is about to be decided right now.